Welcome to Level Up Edutainment, where we share valuable insights from some of the best minds in business, self-development and philosophy through our concise and digestible summaries. In this episode, we will take at the key lessons from the book The Lean Startup by Eric Ries. Eric Ries is a successful entrepreneur who has founded several startups, and through his experience, he realized that most startups failed not because they have a bad product or service, but because they do not have a proper methodology in place. This led him to write The Lean Startup, which is a framework for creating and managing startups. Key Learning 1: Creating a Minimum Viable Product, MVP. One of the key lessons from the book is the importance of creating a minimum viable product, MVP. An MVP is a prototype of your product or service that is created with the minimum amount of features necessary to test whether there is a market for it. By creating an MVP, you can quickly test your product or service in the market and get feedback from your customers. This feedback can then be used to improve your product or service and iterate until you have a product that people love. Creating an MVP is not only about saving time and resources but also about reducing risk. By testing your MVP in the market, you can validate your assumptions, and you can pivot or persevere depending on the feedback you receive. This is the core idea behind the Lean Startup methodology to build something that people actually want. Key Learning 2: Build, Measure, Learn Feedback Loop. Another important lesson from the book is the Build, Measure, Learn Feedback Loop. This is the process of building an MVP, measuring how it performs in the market, and learning from the results. By following this feedback loop, you can quickly test your ideas and make improvements based on real-world feedback. The Build, Measure, Learn feedback loop is an iterative process, where each iteration helps you refine your product or service. You can measure the success of your MVP by using metrics that matter to your business, such as user engagement, conversion rates, or revenue. By measuring your MVP, you can learn what works and what doesn't, and make data-driven decisions. Key Learning 3: Pivot or Persevere. The third key lesson from the book is the concept of pivot or persevere. This is the process of deciding whether to change direction or continue with your current strategy. Eric Ries emphasizes that it is important to stay flexible and be willing to pivot if your current strategy is not working. By staying agile and adaptable, you can increase your chances of success. Pivoting is not a sign of failure, but rather a sign of learning. It's about testing your assumptions and adjusting your strategy based on real-world feedback. By pivoting, you can discover new opportunities and find a product or service that truly solves your customers' problems. Let me tell you a story of a startup that did not follow these principles. A few years ago, there was a startup that had a great idea for a new app. They spent months building a full-featured product without testing it in the market. When they finally launched, they found out that no one was interested in their product. They had wasted months of time and resources building a product that nobody wanted. If only they had followed the principles outlined in the Lean Startup, they would have created an MVP, tested it in the market, and iterated until they had a product that people loved. Key Learning 4: Continuous Innovation. The fourth key lesson from the book is the importance of continuous innovation. Eric Ries emphasizes that startups should always be looking for ways to innovate and improve their products or services. By continuously innovating, startups can stay ahead of the competition and provide more value to their customers. Continuous innovation is not just about adding new features or improving the user experience, but also about finding new business models or revenue streams. Startups should always be looking for ways to innovate and improve their products or services, not only to keep up with the competition but also to provide more value to their customers. Eric Ries emphasizes that startups should constantly challenge themselves to find new ways of doing things, even if it means going against conventional wisdom. For example, one startup that successfully implemented continuous innovation is Airbnb. When they first launched, they were a platform for people to rent out their homes for short-term stays. However, they didn't stop there. They continued to innovate by adding new features, such as the ability to book experiences and adding experiences to their platform. They also started offering experiences in addition to their rental service, expanding their revenue stream. By continuously innovating, Airbnb has become a household name and a leader in the hospitality industry. The fifth and final key lesson from the book is the importance of validated learning. This is the process of learning from real-world data and feedback, and Eric Ries emphasizes that startups should not rely on assumptions or guesses, but instead, they should use data to make decisions. By using validated learning, startups can make more informed decisions and increase their chances of success. One example of validated learning is Dropbox. When the company first launched, they created a video explaining their product and uploaded it to a popular tech forum. The video went viral, and they received thousands of signups overnight. However, when they released the product, they found that only a few hundred people were using it. Instead of giving up, they used data to learn what users wanted and iterated their product accordingly. By doing so, they were able to create a product that people loved and grew their user base to over 500 million users. So to summarize, the key learnings from the Lean Startup are: creating a minimum viable product (MVP), build, measure, learn feedback loop, pivot or persevere, continuous innovation, validated learning. In conclusion, The Lean Startup is a must-read book for anyone who wants to create or manage a startup. By following the principles outlined in the book, startups can increase their chances of success and avoid common pitfalls. Remember, creating a successful startup is not just about having a great idea, it's about having a great methodology. By creating an MVP, following the build, measure, learn feedback loop, staying agile and adaptable, continuously innovating, and using validated learning, startups can increase their chances of success and make a real impact in the world. Thank you for listening. If you are interested in getting the book, you can find the link in the description box below. Otherwise, we will see you in the next episode. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel.